Beyond Lifetimes, Blood, and Fires of the Phoenix. Chapter 14 Part 2. Continuation. Nathan's Sacrifice. Nathan stood at the balcony, the memory replaying in fragments he could not escape. 2 weeks ago. That was when Lyra changed. She stayed closer than usual, her hand always finding his sleeve. She asked Sid for a portrait of the two of them, insisting on it with a quiet urgency. She chose Michael's suits herself, even designing one, smiling as if she were memorizing him, with Nathan. She wanted every moment filled. Walks, dinners, conversations that stretched late into the night. At the time he thought it was affection. Now he knew, she had been leaving pieces of herself with each of them. The night he came home to the candlelit table and found her missing, the locked door. The sight of her on the floor trembling, lips blue and weak. That was when he saw the seed. The seed he never expected to appear at this time in the past. It had been growing quietly. He had gone back to the past to stop that moment. In the original timeline, Roy was the one who gave it to her. But in this life, Roy never appeared. Alarian's voice had answered his confusion. When a fixed fate is changed, it does not disappear. It finds another path. The seed had been inside her for 5 years, growing while he watched for an attack that had already happened. Later, as Lyra slept against his chest, Mary spoke.
Nathan, you must save Lyra. She has hid the truth that she has been suffering from the poison of the seed of death for 5 years now. She has accepted death to protect what is sacred between you. The bond of the flesh, Ilivian Mirakyra, the bond she only wanted to share with you. I told her and tried to convince her that the only way to slow the seed is for her to share Ilivian Mirakyra with Sid and Michael, or find the shield fire and share that bond to destroy it completely. But because of her love for you, Nathan, Lyra had refused. Because that bond belonged only to you, Nathan. Her guilt for loving the other fragments, Sid and Michael, even through Miradea, fed the seed further. To her, it was betrayal. She would rather fade than break what she believed was yours and hers alone.
When she woke, her first words were not about pain, but about him.
I love you so much, Nathan. I'm sorry for keeping this thing about the seed of death from you. I'm trying to find a cure, but I was left with something I refuse to do because it will tear you apart more than any blade can.
Nathan felt torn. He is spiraling. Just with the thought that Lyra would choose to disappear then hurt him further. Even if she knew he is okay with anything, even if he bleeds.
Lyra, why did you do this to me? Mary told me everything. For 5 years you carried the seed of death alone, smiling, pretending, letting it eat you from the inside. And now you think leaving me is mercy? You would rather disappear than let me see you suffer? Do you really believe that saves me from the pain? That losing you would hurt less than watching you fight?
Nathan, even I'm terrified of leaving you, of going somewhere I can't reach you. If I die, at least I won't break what is sacred for us. That part of me is yours alone. I set boundaries so no one else can reach it.
Nathan felt something inside him give way. The very boundary she protected to honor their love was the thing killing her.
I need you alive. Do not choose death for my sake.
Lyra protested, apologizing for being his fate, for binding him to a life of conflict.
If wishes come true, Nathan, I really wish that you never crossed paths with me. Like that, you may be able to live a happier life, without the pain, without the curse. If you could love someone else, you would be happier. And if it is possible, a day comes that you, Sid and Michael's life and existence no longer depends on my love.
I don't want to hear that. Even if this curse follows us into every lifetime, I will still choose you. Your love is not my suffering. It is the reason I endure. It will destroy me far more to watch you die when there is still a way to save you. Your love is not betrayal. It is the purest thing that exists. Choose to live. Share the bond if you must. I will be okay. Nothing you do to survive will ever change my love for you. I would rather bleed every day beside you than live one single day in a world where you are gone. I would rather be wounded by the truth than protected by your absence. You don't get to decide that my happiness is a life without you, Lyra. My happiness is you, alive, breathing, within my reach. Even if it hurts, even if it tears me apart. So don't leave me to spare me pain. Stay, Lyra. Let me carry that pain with you. Let me fight for you. Because a life where you are still here, no matter how broken, no matter how difficult, is the only life I will ever choose.
For the first time, he let go of the sacred exclusivity he had guarded. And in that surrender, their love became something else, not possession, not sacrifice. Survival. Lyra's breathing steadied in his arms as the weight of guilt began to lift, because she finally understood loving Nathan had never meant dying for him, but living, even if it meant sharing the burden of their fate together. Nathan felt Lyra's presence before she spoke. Her arms wrapped around him from behind, her cheek resting between his shoulder blades, her warmth seeping through the distance he had built around himself.
Nathan, are you having trouble sleeping? I didn't feel your warmth beside me, so I got up to check on you. It's the consort selection, isn't it, huh, Nathan? They're going to test us again, my love. Decide what we're allowed to be.
Nathan turned to face her, his gaze warm and full of passion.
Sorry if I woke you up, Lyra. They can test whatever they want. They don't get to decide what you are to me. Lyra, do what you have to do to survive. My love for you will never change, even if you have to be in the arms of Sid or the other fragment firebearer, Michael, because I know no matter what, you will still come home to me. This is how much I love you. So don't feel guilt, because I know my place in your heart, and no one can take that away. You may say our love is a curse, but for me, it's a curse worth living, because I have you.
Nathan, before I go to Valamont with Sid, take me to Embervale, your kingdom, just you and me. I can feel fate reaching for us again, and this time, it wants the one thing that is sacred between us. Why can't I be yours alone? This heart beats for you, then for Sid, then for Michael, and even if Roy is gone, it still beats for him too, and every beat feels like betrayal. But this is the bitter truth of our curse. So for you, I promise I won't fade. I will survive, because living is the only way I can return the love you have given me. And before fate tries to take anything from us, I will make sure there is nothing left for it to steal, because I have already given all of myself to you.
If that's where you can breathe, I'll go anywhere you want. It's only 2 days here in Altheris Island, but 6 months in Valamont. Then we'll take the 6 months, or longer if that's what makes you happy. I would love that. Having you beside me, waking up beside you, kissing you, holding you in my arms. When you're this close, Lyra, it's impossible for me not to reach for you, again and again. And every time you let me in, it's not something I take for granted. It's an honor, a privilege.
You are my Omre, Nathan,
my eternal love, and when we reach Valamont, I will prove to you once more how much I love you."
Nathan answered her words with a kiss, slow, certain, and full of everything he could never put into speech. Their lips parted only long enough for him to breathe her name, then, without breaking the closeness between them, he lifted her into his arms. He lifted her slowly, solemnly, like a groom carrying his bride across the threshold that only the two of them could see. Lyra's hands slipped around his shoulders, her eyes never leaving his. With every step he took toward the bed, he kissed her. Softly, reverently. As if each step were a vow, as if each touch were a promise that no fate could undo. There was no urgency in him. Only certainty. When he laid her down, he did not release her immediately. He remained close, his forehead resting against hers, their breaths mingling, their hearts steadying into the same rhythm. In that quiet, everything else fell away. The consort trials, the curse, the wars waiting beyond dawn. There was only this, the sacred space they had chosen, and the love they had refused to surrender. Every touch that followed was gentle, unhurried, and certain, a language they had spoken since the beginning. Outside, the night moved on as it always did. But inside that room, time seemed to fold around them, holding them in a space where nothing else existed. They did not reach for each other out of desperation. They reached because they belonged there, and as the darkness softened into quiet, they held each other close, breathing in the same rhythm, hearts steady, as if their love itself were a vow strong enough to defy whatever dawn would bring.